Handicapper Steve here, handicapping opening day from Saratoga Racecourse. It is Friday, the 3rd of July, 2026. Gonna look at the stakes races on the program from the spot, but before I get on to that, remember to follow me on X at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. It's gonna be a very hot opening day from Saratoga, but hopefully the races go through. It's a good card here. We're gonna look at the stakes races here, races 8, 9, and 10. So let's get to it right now. And by the way, I do not like Saratoga opening up July 4th weekend. For years, they've been saying, "Oh, Saratoga should be open July 4th weekend." No, I think Saratoga should go back to the way next year. It's going to go back to the way it opens the week after July 4th or 2 weeks after July 4th. Can't remember now. But let's get to the stakes action here on opening day. Races 8, 9, and 10. The eighth race from Saratoga. It's the Wild Applause Stakes. It's going for $150,000 purse. Race for 3-year-old fillies here. We have a field of 11 horses going 1,600 meters or a mile on the inner turf course. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 10 horse Code. I'm going to go 10-6-8-7 in the superfecta. 10-6-8-7 super top selection, the 10 horse Code, 3-year-old filly by Tiz the Law. Stephen Hampson trades one top letter assistant here. Flavian Pratt gets to mount. They ran the horse most recently 7th of June at Churchill, mile 16th in the Lounge race for 120,000, and he put a second by neck that day. And had a good race on the front end that day. He just got overtaken late. Faze Gold, who's running back this one today, really ran a terrific race on a little bit closer to the front end, and then ran a clunker last week at Churchill in the temp. And it's probably not going to run here. I could see that horse scratching, but this horse, he just got beat by a horse who just had a little bit closer or a little bit closer trip than him, but or not closer trip, but a good tracking trip. This horse ran his heart out. I think coming here to a speed favoring in a turf course, Flavian's probably going to send from the outside post draw. I think they're going to see how far his pace goes, and I think his speed could go wire to wire here. I think he's going to sit on a very good run. And in his sophomore effort at Goldstream, going 7.5 on the 9th of May, he won by length that day. And he came from the back pack. He sat back early. He really had a good turn of foot to close up into, and he did just that. 7.5 furlong races at Goldstream tend to be more towards speed running horses. This horse gained ground from the back pack. That was quite impressive there. And then on debut at Goldstream, 5 furlongs in the main special weight on off turf on Tapeta, finishing fourth by 5.25 lengths that day. He was just wide that day, never really got going, but he's the kind of horse that's been improving with every single race. Refreshing here at 5-1. Like I said, I think they're going to send him from the outside poster up. I think he could wire the field. I think the 6-horse Smexy win for Brendan Walsh and Tyler Gaffleone also. He's coming out of the Penn Oaks at Penn National over the mile on 29th of May, where he finished third by length. It was his first start in about 2.5 months. He just kind of stuck and just was a little bit flat that day. Ran prior to that from the parking lot on the Sandoval Island at Gulfstream over the 7.5. He finished fifth by 2.5 lengths that day, where he was just wide, and not getting into it. His races last year at in Ireland weren't bad at all. They could definitely do good here. I think from a track report where he's drawn, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets a piece of it late. At 7-2, we'll definitely use him at the late pick four that begins with this race. But to recount my selection for the 8th from Saratoga, it's the Wild Applause. Going to take the 10 horse Code. Give kudos to the 6-horse Smexy. 10-6-8-7 Super. 10-6 in the multi race. The 9th race from Saratoga. It is the traditional opening day feature. It is the Schuylerville Stakes. It's going for a $200,000 purse. Race for 2-year-old fillies. We have a field of 8 horses going 1,200 meters of 6 furlongs in the Schuylerville. I'm going to take the 5-horse Washington as a top selection. 5-1-8-2 in the superfecta for me. 5-1-8-2 super. Top selection, 5-horse Washington. 2-year-old filly by Matoli here. Steve Asmussen trains. Tyler Gaffleone gets mount. He ran once. That came on the 22nd of May at Churchill. 5 furlongs off the turf in the slop in the main special weight for 117,000. And he won by a nose that day. And from the inside, he got, a little bumped around early on from the rail post draw, but he settled back early. When he moved his way into the race, that quarter horse to the wire, he really put on a show late. I thought it was a good effort. He's definitely going to go up a lot with the extra furlong. He's been training well locally since his last race. Coming here today, I'm going to give him a shot to win on the ticket. 3/8 mile work on the Oklahoma and 37.4 and a half mile 50 and 1 on the Oklahoma since the last race. Like I said, coming here, first time out, second time out. I think he can win. I think the one horse Voyager could win also from Marcassian Jose Ortiz. Started on debut on the 10th of June at Churchill, going 5.5 in the main special weight, where he finished second by 1 3/4 lengths, where he just was very, very rank early on. Also didn't break so well. And he moved a little bit late, but he just needs to settle down. He is trending incredibly well coming into this race. Half mile on the main track, 48 and 1 since his last race. I think if they could settle him from the rail, I think he could pick up some pieces late. 7-2 will use him on the ticket. And even the 8 horse Luminous Beauty for Flavia and Jenna Antonucci lost on debut at Churchill going 5/8 behind the next start winner, and then came back to win going away at here on Belmont Stakes week, going 5.5 in the main special weight, win by 6.5. That was a quite impressive geared down victor. He's trending well since the last race, has some speed. Watch out for him late. We'll use him in the pick four. But to recount my selection for the featured ninth race from Saratoga now, it is the listed Schuylerville. Going to take the 5 horse Washington. Give kudos to the 1 horse Voyager and the 8 horse Luminous Beauty. 5-1-8-2 Super. 5-1-8 in the multi-race. The 10th race from Saratoga now, it is a Saranac Stakes. It's going for a $150,000 purse, race for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 13 horses entered, 13 horses in MTO, only 12 could go. 1,700 meters or mile 16th here on the Mellon Turf Course. The rails are out at 12 feet. My top selection here in the Saranac, I'm going to go with the number 11 horse, Arizona Territory. 11-4-7-10 for me in the superfecta. 11-4-7-10 super. Top selection, 11 horse Arizona Territory. 3-year-old colt by Tappet here. Chad Brown trains. Flavian Pratt gets them out for Peter Brandt. They ran the horse on the 9th of May at Aqueduct. Mile 16th in her turf course, an optional 100 claimer, and he won by 3 1/4 lengths that day. Only had 5 other rivals, but still seemed to be 10 wide that day. But he really gained a lot of ground, quickened up nicely, beat Home Print quite easily. He's running back at this one today and ran a couple of clunkers after that at Aqueduct. This horse really gained a lot of ground. Coming here to the Mellon Turf Course, he doesn't have a low for the pace, so he's probably not going to save some ground early on, but if he could save ground around that second turn, I think you could see him flying at the end. The inner turf course will play towards speed here at Saratoga, but the Mellon's very, very fair. A closer can definitely win this race. Like I said, I think he could improve since his last run. He ran prior to that Tampa over the mile 16th and 27th of the March main special weight, winning by 3 1/4 lengths, coming from mid-pack, a little bit wide, but he really gained a lot of ground. That was a good effort that day. Major improvement off his debut race at Tampa, going mile 16th, where he finished 5th by 5 lengths and lost all chance around the far turn where he had to really check hard out of it. That really, really cost the forward momentum late. He's training quite well at Belmont since his most recent race. Refreshed here, first time stakes quality horses. I think he has a logical chance of winning. I think the 4 horse here, Teddy's Rocket, for Miguel Clement and Manny Franco Cohen also. Ran most recently in the Woodhaven at Aqueduct over the mile, where he finished 4th by 6 1/4 lengths that day and just wasn't comfortable. Didn't get out of the gate so clearly and just needed the race off the bench. Coming here with a little bit of time between his most recent race back here to Saratoga, where he ran well last summer. I'm going to give him another shot. I thought he had a wide poster on the Summer Stakes of Woodbine last autumn, which cost him 1 mile on the inner turf course of Woodbine, 13th of September, where he finished 4th by 1 1/4 lengths. He gained a little bit late, but Argos really came home clear that day. But he wasn't going away on the front end here at Saratoga, a mile on that inner turf course last season, won by a length. He won for fun. If he could run a race like the summer, even in that Saratoga race last year, he could win here. I do think he gets a good poster here today. 8-1. We'll use him on the ticket. And I also think the 7 horse here, Glavin for John V and Tom Orlick win also. I had him when he broke his main two back at Aqueduct going a mile 16th on Mother's Day. That was one of my big hits of the I had a lot of money on him that day at Aqueduct, and he won by 3 1/4 lengths. He was 4-1, but not the best price in the world. But he really came home clear. After that, I was there at the like they say, I was there on the 9th of May or 10th of May at the wedding. I wasn't there on the 4th of June at the funeral and the Pine Ridge, where he finished 4th by 1 3/4 lengths that day, and he just was wide, didn't get out of the gate so clearly, and he just wasn't comfortable. I think coming here to the Mellon Turf course, not as tough as a race as the Pine Ridge, drawn better. I just think he's going to find a better trip to win. He was drawn very wide on debut last summer, going mile 16th here, where he finished second by head. He just had to be used a lot that day, which probably cost him. But he's training well since his last race. Better poster, getting Johnny back up. 4-1, it wouldn't surprise me if he wins. We'll definitely use him in the late pick 4. But to recount my selection for the 10th from Saratoga now, it is the Saranac. We're going to take the 11 horse Arizona Territory's top selection. Give kudos to the 4 horse Teddy's Rocket and the 7 horse Glavin. 11-4-7-10 super. 11-4-7 in the multi-race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on X at Horse Racing Kit 5 and join me tomorrow for my Belmont Derby preview here from Saratoga. Good luck, everybody.